Hello ladies and gents, welcome to the next Q&A in the Fulham Focus series. My name is Dannyboi and it's a pleasure to say joining me today to talk about his time at Fulham is a man who bossed the midfield, playing a pivotal role in the Tigana promotion season and then helped us establish ourselves in the Premier League. I am of course talking about the one and only John Collins. John, how are you mate? Thank you for joining me.
Very well indeed my friend, delighted to be talking to you.
Good stuff, mate. So I'm just going to crack straight on with the questions, if that's okay.
Go for it.
All right, mate. So the first one, before you came to Fulham, how did you get the first opportunity in football?
Well, my first club was Hibernian. I left school just before my 16th birthday. They offered me a 2-year apprenticeship. So obviously Edinburgh was the nearest city to my hometown. So it was a great opportunity, Hibs in the Premier League. So I was very fortunate. I joined the club. The manager said to me before I signed, and my father, doesn't matter what age you are, if you're good enough, I'll give you an opportunity in the first team. That's all I can promise you. So that was music to my ears and my father's. So I signed just before my 16th birthday. And the following pre-season, I made my debut at 16 and a half against Manchester City in a pre-season friendly. So Hibernian was my first club, most enjoyable.
You spent 6 years there. What made you move up to Celtic? Was it just the fact that it's Celtic? Was it the lure of the big club?
Well, the club turned down quite a few offers. Chelsea, Fulham's nearest rivals, when I was 19. Middlesbrough were making offers for me. But Celtic was my boyhood team, I've got to be honest. So they came along, made Hibs a big offer. Hibs accepted the offer, and off I went along to Celtic. So it was a good move for me. At that stage of my career, I was ready to move on from Hibs. I spent 6 years, as you said, 6 happy years. But moving up to Celtic was a completely different ballgame.
Did you have any role models in the game as you was coming through? I suppose, was there any Celtic heroes that you had?
Not really. I've got to be honest, when I was a young kid growing up, I never watched a lot of football. I was too busy playing out in the street. Unlike kids nowadays, they seem to be watching football non-stop, but my generation was a generation of very, very little television being watched, and mostly being out in the street playing football with the boys. So I never really had somebody that I tried to copy or a role model. Sadly, it's something that seems to have disappeared, is street football. Kids have got so much computers and so much television and other things to distract them. But in my day, street footballs were, I think, all the top players were made. Little brothers playing with big brothers in the street. 3-a-side, 2-a-side, 4-a-side, 5-a-side. And that's where I believe I was developed as a football player from probably ages 7 to 12-year-old, playing with my big brother and his buddies. That's where I developed all my skills and attributes.
Yeah, that's nice. So, it weren't just Celtic, obviously you play for Scotland as well, which must have been a huge honour for you. What was the highlight of playing for Scotland?
Well, I think your debut, your home debut is always very special. Nothing beats playing for your country. But two things spring out. Euro 96, qualifying for it, participating in Euro 96 in England, and obviously France 98 World Cup. Probably the biggest game was the opening game of the World Cup against Brazil, although we got beat. It was a pretty special occasion. But every time you play for your country, it's special. But once you qualify for the big tournaments, that's the big time. That's where you want to be.
And yet you was the captain, wasn't you?
I was captain now and again. I wasn't regular captain. Who was the captain? Gary McAllister, I think, was captain sometimes.
Colin Hendry
captain the team. There was different captains all through my time. I had 10 years I played for Scotland. There was different captains.
Just going through that and naming all the names, I mean, that is the difference between Scotland then and Scotland now. The big leaders, big characters, players in the team. And now Scotland seems to be a team full of championship players. Yep.
I think there's 2 reasons for that now. I think it's harder to get in the Premiership now, got to be honest, because it's now a world select. Maybe in my day there wasn't so many overseas players. There was overseas players, but with the money in the Premiership now, they've got the pick of the world. But it's true, most of the players now play in the Championship, which isn't ideal. It's still a decent league, but it's a big drop-off from the Premier League, that's for sure. It's been a long time since we were at a major tournament, but fingers crossed it happens soon.
Right, so going back to, you was at Celtic, so Hibs and then Celtic, so that was about 12 years of your career. And then you decide to make the move across to Monaco. I mean, that's a big jump for a player that's, homegrown in Scotland. What made you move to Monaco?
Well, first of all, I had offers in England. Celtic turned them down. I came at the end of my contract. I was coming at the end of my contract, and I was the first Bosman. The Bosman ruling came in, I think it was December. So that meant at the end of my contract in June, I was a free agent. And obviously my agent contacted a few clubs overseas, and Monaco contacted us, made us an offer to fly down for the weekend, have a look about the place and see what I thought. And anybody who's been to the south of France will tell you it's quite a nice place to be, nice weather, a little change from Scotland. I was 28, I needed a new challenge on and off the pitch, and it was the most fantastic and enriching experience of my football career, I've got to be honest. I joined a great football team, won the championship, French championship the first year, semi-final UEFA Cup. Second year, semi-final of the Champions League, beating Manchester United in the quarter-final. So it was a test because the training was tough, to get in the team was tough. We had 22 international players, but it was fun. I liked being stretched, and at that stage of my career, I was pushed to the limits on and off the pitch, obviously learning a new language with my wife and my kids. It was a major change, but a fantastic 2 years of my life.
Do you think more British players should venture out and challenge themselves with moves abroad? 100%.
But I think to move abroad, you've got to really want to go there. You've got to want to work hard and learn the language if you want to be successful. And most football players, obviously, they don't want to put themselves out of their comfort zone. And also now in England, there's so much money in England that I don't think they're going to take a wage cut. The bottom line is if they're happy with it and they're content, then the question was, why would you want to move? But as I said, I was ready for a challenge. I always wanted to learn a new language, discover a new league, and I got the opportunity. So I can only recommend it to any young player or any football player that gets an opportunity to go abroad. Obviously, it's got to be the right football club, but it helps when it's a nice place to live as well. So it's got to tick all the boxes, and Monaco certainly ticked a lot of boxes for me.
But if Monaco's not for you, young men, sign for Fulham.
Why not? Exactly, a wonderful little club.
So, and that's exactly what you did. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I seem to have it in my head that it was reported at the time Tigana was keen to bring you in because you could speak fluent French, and there was a bit of a language barrier because he couldn't.
Well, obviously I played under John for 2 years at Monaco, and it was hugely successful for him, and it was hugely successful for me. I went to Everton in between times, but John phoned me and said he had spoke to Mr. Fayed, and it was a big project. He was going to give funds to build the club. He had checked the players out. There was already a good nucleus of players, and I knew he was going to sign young Louis Saha. So he wanted me to come and be the experienced player on the pitch, and obviously me speaking French, it was going to be a huge advantage to him, to help him and his coaches, because none of them could speak hardly a word of English. So obviously that played a factor in it as well. I suppose it did. It was important that I did help him with the English side of things as well. Communication is a big thing.
See, Abdes Wadu did one of these, and he said Tigana banned anyone from speaking any language other than English. He said everybody had to speak English, so...
Well,
or was that late? I suppose that was later on, because he was in the Premier League.
He was the next year, wasn't he, Abdes? Abdes wasn't... So it was a year on, so the initial stages of Jean's arriving at Fulham, then obviously I had to help him, talking to players and transferring, transmitting messages to the players, because he couldn't do it in English. So I helped John then, but when all the French, there was more French players came in, then John did say, look, I don't want you French players speaking French to each other in the corridors and the canteen. I want you to try and learn English and mix in with English boys, which was the right thing to say and to do. But initially John obviously needed help in the translation to get this message across to the player.
Yeah, he had a lot of philosophies and theories to Ghana. It wasn't just the style of play. It was, how our players conditioned and diet, even down to what your teeth are like. When you met him in Monaco, did he change your mentality towards the game, coming from Scotland, or was you just naturally on the same wavelength as him?
Well, I was lucky. It was a good fit for me because I enjoyed training, I enjoyed learning new things and trying to get as fit as possible. So obviously when I went to France, there was a massive difference from the training regime, the amount of time spent on the training pitch compared to Britain actually, Scotland. Big with the physical coaches in France. Diet was huge, body fat was big, and they left no stone unturned to make sure that each player was in peak physical condition, because that's the starting point as far as the French are concerned. Can you be physically perfect? And then obviously you've got to have talent, you've got to have tactics, you've got to have systems and shapes, but first thing, can you be as fit as you possibly can be? So John was big into that, but that was France in general. And when he came to Fulham, he brought his physical coach with him, who was anybody who was at Fulham at the time will, I'm sure, tell all about Roger Papeau. Roger was the ultimate professional, pushed every player to the limit, worked from morning till night time. He was the best physical coach I've ever worked with. So John it was great recruitment from John, and John and Fulham, and as his players, were so lucky to have Roger. He was another level from anything that was working in Britain at that moment in time. I still keep in touch with Roger, and if I was Fulham at this moment in time, I would be hiring him as well to oversee the young physical coaches that are there. There's so much experience, so much knowledge. They should still be in the game.
I was actually going to ask you about Roger and Christian Damiano as well. Did Christian play a big role as well? Were they a big influence on Tigana?
Christian was very quiet, never said much, just organised some of the sessions. I would say Roger was the biggest influence in the team, of the two of them, sorry. He was given a large part of each session to do by Jean, huge responsibility. Jean trusted him immensely. So I think Roger was the number one, I think, out of the two.
It's interesting because I knew more about Damiano than I did about Roger Papeau. So,
trust me, Roger Papeau is absolutely sensational physical coach. Oof, what a professional. It doesn't matter if you were 17 or 35 years of age. He put high demands and he treated everybody the same. Pushed everybody to their limits.
What was your relationship with Tigana like?
My first 2 years were excellent. The last year it wasn't so good because I wasn't playing. More my fault than his. Obviously at Monaco was brilliant. 2 years at Fulham was different class. The last year it wasn't so good because I wasn't playing. I was 34, thought I should be playing, but John was probably correct. It was time for young blood to come into the team, and 34 to be sliding out the door. So obviously I was a bit frustrated. But I still 100% respect for John. And when I see him, we talk to each other. Don't see him much. He's quite quiet living his life in France. But he was good for me. Starting at Monaco and Fulham, we had special years together and winning league titles. It's not often you can say that you go somewhere, your first season you win a league title. So I did that twice with Jean. So we definitely had some chemistry and we were good for each other.
It seems like he was quite strict with, discipline for diet and stuff like that. Did he allow the players to socialise?
Yeah, the boys always socialised when they wanted to socialise, but not when there's training the next day. If that's what you mean, it's not the old English style.
No, I mean, was there bonding sessions away from training?
I think we had nights out now and again. I can't remember too much. It's a long time ago, but that championship, it's 2 games a week, so you don't get a lot of time to really switch off. But there was an excellent team spirit when you consider how many overseas players that came into the club. You don't have success in the pitch unless you've got a good spirit. So we did have a good spirit. As I say, inherited a good group of boys as well. Cookie, Clarkey, Kit, young Sean Davis, Barry, Rufus.
Yeah, it was a good team.
Mick. So he inherited an excellent group, and he added to it with quality. I think, talking about me, obviously Louis Sarr was a revelation. First season, what a signing that was, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
Sensational, and then Malbronk came the second season.
Yeah, well, mate, I'll put you in that bracket as well, because I think every player played a different kind of role. Obviously, you was very experienced, came as the French-speaking player. You probably played the role of bridging between the manager and the players. Not so much a translator, but
yes,
like an extra captain.
Yes, that's it. I was kind of his right-hand man, and I helped him when he was in needed help, and I spoke to the manager regularly. But obviously, John did a great job, but he inherited a good bunch of boys, and he used them very well. And I'm sure all the boys will speak highly of that period in their life as football players and as a team. Those were happy days. But obviously not everybody can play, not everybody can start the game, so there's only 11 happy every week, and then you got the subs are quite unhappy because they're not playing, and you got the squad players aren't happy because they're not involved. But in general, that was probably the most successful time that the club's had for a long, long time, I would imagine.
Obviously, we got to the Europa League final and an FA Cup final in the 70s, but I think if you were speaking to fans about their most enjoyable season ever, I would be gobsmacked if in a poll that season didn't come out on top. It is the football, just everything about it was breathtaking.
Well, we were the Manchester City at that time. It was Championship football. That's how far we were. I think that's the type of football we played. High tempo, dominated possession, fit line machines up the top of the pitch, Tam at the back, full-backs overlapping, Rufus one side, Steve Finnan the other, Marcel Clarkey and Sean in the middle of the pitch. There was a lot of talent.
Well, you got to think, I mean, even now, if a team runs away with the league, how many of those players go on to be Premier League players with that club? That it's like a complete rebuild after that. Whereas all those names you were mentioning, Barry Ells, Rufus, Finnan, Sean Davis, Barmore, Sahar, they all went up with it. Lee Clark. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Coleman would have. If and although we got Van der Sar, I think Mate Taylor would have held his own. So
yeah, it would have.
It was a team ready for the Premier League before we even got there.
Well, we played Premier League style football, and we were fitter than any team in the Premier League as well. So you've got to put all that together. So Roger comes involved in that as well. We were fitness levels of elite team, Premier League team, and everybody could deal with the ball. It was a good football team. So that's what I'm talking about, philosophy. So there was a philosophy at the club there.
Yeah, definitely.
We play, and we're not going to change just because we're going to go and play against Manchester United. We played the same against Manchester United and Chelsea as we did the season before in the Championship against every team in the Championship. So we never changed. We never went defensive, sitting back, hoping to scrape a 1-0 win, as you see week in, week out in the Premiership just now. Horrible, boring football. A lot of the games, we went up with no fear. And nothing epitomises it more than our opening game in the Premiership, Old Trafford away. So.
Yeah, you're running away from me now because I wanna focus on the promotion first and sort of work our way through. So obviously you play for Celtic, you play for Monaco and Everton, all massive clubs. Fulham aren't as big, we know that. But to you, did you see it that way when you came to Fulham? When you walked through the door at Fulham, did you see them as a smaller club? What was the contrast?
Obviously I left. Fulham was the first club I signed for that wasn't in the Premier League. Obviously Premier League in Scotland, Premier League Everton, Premier League in France. The reason I left Everton and came to Fulham, Everton were a direct football team, back to front. Duncan Ferguson up front, Kevin Campbell, and I wasn't enjoying it. That wasn't the type of football I enjoyed playing. So when I got the phone call from Jean, it explained me about the club. I flew down, seen the stadium, but it wasn't the stadium or anything. It was a plan that Jean had in the style of football he was going to play, and I knew, having worked 2 years with him, what he was going to want from the team. So I wanted another challenge, and it was a great challenge for me. But I got a good feeling when I went to the club. The people were nice. Even his first meeting I had with Mr. Alfire and Harrods, I felt he was ambitious. He was motivated. I like people that are motivated, ambitious, want to progress. and build something, and that's why Jean took the opportunity. So it never took him long to sell it to me. I was ready for another challenge, and no greater challenge than jumping out of the Championship and getting up in your first season. But I honestly believe with the group of players that he had, I did a bit of research, checked the group he was heading, and I knew the type of player he was going to sign. He wanted speed at the top of the pitch. Then I thought, yeah, this thing's a nice challenge. And I've got to be honest, it was a great move in my career. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Like you said, he inherited a good group, but do you think he was lucky that the experienced players who have been there and done it bought into his style and his philosophy? Because, you know, I can't imagine nowadays players saying, you know, in their 30s, being told you need to cut down on drinking this or doing this.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think he was fortunate in the group he inherited, but he had a great team with him. Roger, his physical coach, and I think the players seen the club was growing. They'd been in the Championship. I suppose they all wanted to go to the Premiership, so he came here. He turned up having won the league with Monaco. He's been Champions League semi-final, Europa League semi-final. So if a coach comes in with that kind of pedigree, then and he's telling you need to do this, you need to do that to become a better athlete, a better fitter player the last 90 minutes to be a little bit quicker, then I think you'd be pretty silly not to listen. But I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of young players maybe, or players that would think, nah, I've done this for 10 years, but not everybody bought into it big time, which was great for me seeing it. And it was great news for Jean because he need obviously to have success. You need everybody to buy into it. Everybody wanted to be part of the football club that was growing. Nobody wanted to go anywhere else because it was a football club that was growing at that time. So everybody wanted to stay on board, and I think they knew pretty quick that Jean and Mr. Fayed had money at his disposal, and if they didn't toe the line or give it 100%, they would be moved out. And new players are then moved in, so there's double reason why they bought into it as well.
Everyone was kept on their toes.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah. We win our first game, obviously, and then our second game away at Birmingham, you score your first goal. At the time, Birmingham had done well the season before, so they went into that campaign as one of the favourites, and we blew them away. Is that the point where you realised, you know, we're going to do this? Or did you know that going into pre-season?
I had a fair feeling after probably about 2 weeks in the training pitch, maybe one game. You can usually have a feeling we've got team here, the boys can all pass the ball. We're getting fitter, we've got speed. So, no, but I remember that game. It was, I think, was it on television? Was it live? I think that game.
I think it was live, yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor Francis was their manager.
Yeah, I know Trevor well, and they had a good team, but I think that was just the start of it. We had a wonderful start. We're playing good football, scoring goals, creating lots of chances, exciting. People were starting to talk about us very quickly, actually. And obviously everybody had the eye on us because obviously Jean was a big signing for Fulham, coming from Monaco to Fulham.
That's why I mentioned that game, because like you said, it was on TV, and I think the league started to take notice after that game.
100%. We were live on television, and the way we won, the style of our football was exciting to watch. So you're right, people started talking very quickly, and that's what live television does.
Do you remember your other goals? I think you scored 4.
That's a long time ago. Should have scored more. That's not a good figure, but I was the best.
You said it, not me. Yeah, a player of your quality should definitely have scored more.
I made a few.
Yeah, you was the playmaker. Do you remember them?
Can't remember. No, I've got to be honest. I can't really.
Well, I've got them written down here. Stockport at home, we won 4-1. I think it was back to back actually. You were prolific at one point. You scored against Birmingham, and then you scored in the following game at home to Stockport. Streaky
goal scorer.
You scored against Gillingham away, which is never to be sniffed at. That should be celebrated every time.
Yep, I think was that 1-0? Was that a close game? If I remember right.
2-0. I've got it written down 2-0.
Right, maybe that was a late one to clinch the game. I think I can remember.
It was definitely a heroic goal. Yeah.
red strip, and I had my short hair and my crew cut.
And the last one was we battered Derby at home 5-2. Again, another team that is always a pleasure to batter for other reasons, but we won't go into that. But yeah, 5-2. So, do you remember that one?
Nah, I've got to be honest, can't remember that one.
You scored so many, John. Just
You're right, there's so many to choose from. Put a number.
So, going on to the next question, you was one of several senior players in that squad. Did you get a task of mentoring anyone, or did you take anyone under your wing? I'm particularly thinking Sean Davis, because that season, young man, and towards the end of it, he seemed to grow as the season went on.
I wouldn't say I mentored them, but obviously training next to the young boys every day, my first thing I always did in the training pitch was trying to lead by example and be focused. I always speak to my teammates anyway and try and push them and encourage them. But young Sean was a good player. You could see it after a week on the training pitch. He was aggressive. He could pass the ball. He was calm in possession, and he had self-belief. So they're the attributes you need to be a good football player, and Sean had them. But it was good because John Tigana had seen that very early as well. When he liked Sean, he took to Sean. So there's nothing better when a manager takes you right away and sticks you in the middle of the pitch. So Tigana was very good for young Sean as well. And he went on to have a terrific career as well. I wouldn't say I mentored him, but I certainly gave him advice when it was on to give him advice. The
young players at that time were so lucky, because the first team was just full of leaders, full of experienced pros that had such good careers. There was not a Mickey Mouse player in that squad.
No, and you forget there was Karl-Heinz Friedler. He was injured most of the season, but he was there and in about the club. And I mean, he was a great guy as well, Karl-Heinz. I forgot. People forget about him. Although he never played much, but another good signing before Jean arrived. He played the season before and under Keegan, I think. Yeah.
No, I don't remember him playing in the Tigana year, but he was in the background.
No, never. He was in the background, but he was a nice guy and a good professional. Good to have about the club. But yeah, there was so many experiences. It was a real lot. You're right. Clarkey was there, Cookie, Kit. Yeah, and then Mike Taylor in goal as well. Mike was a great professional as well. Great lad. So I'll say it again. John inherited a very good group of players.
I get it. Just the whole project from start to finish, even before Tigana arrived, everything just fell into place. Like you said, Mate Taylor, Chris Coleman. These players were there the division before. I mean, yeah. It just, if you want a philosophy and a project, follow that one, because it just went to plan the whole way.
Yeah, it was a special 5-6 years the club had. Recruitment's a secret, and also youth development.
Well, that's the one thing we have got. We've got a very good academy. Yeah. Right, got a few quick fire ones for you.
Yep.
So, who was the biggest joker in the Fulham team?
I wouldn't say there was one joker. There was lots of laughter in the dressing room. Everybody was liked pulling each other's legs. Cookie obviously would like to laugh. Clarkey was always laughing about, messing about. I think generally there was a good group. It was a group that was always laughing. But when it was on to work, we worked.
You had the balance spot on.
Yeah, it was a good spot on, and the balance was spot on.
Who were the best and worst trainers?
Leg in the second leg. Lesvinsky wasn't the greatest of trainers. He was chilled.
I remember going to Motspur Park once, and he was walking around in his slippers.
Oh, he was a bit of a tramp, was our leg.
Yeah, I can see it.
But he's a good lad, I still see him.
Who was the best player?
The best player had to be Saha. Saha was a special player.
He was a special player.
Had everything, except maybe didn't believe how good he was. If he had maybe a little bit more belief, like I'm the man, just give me the ball.
So to me, he seemed like a very confident player.
Sometimes he didn't. I think he could have had more self-belief. He had some tools: right foot, left foot, speed, could jump, balance. Yeah, lovely boy as well.
Amazing signing.
£2 million. Wow.
Yeah. Probably the best player to ever play in that league, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Who were your closest friends?
Can't say one. I've got to be honest. I got on well with everybody. I wouldn't say I had one person I hit about with all the time. I got on well. It was a very good bunch. The French boys were good. Not the English boys, the Welsh boys. It was a good mix. It was a full Great Britain group, the British group, the Welsh, the English, the London Irishman, Finn. He was a good player as well, Steve Finn.
Yeah.
What a footballer he was.
Yeah, top class. Who was the biggest moaner?
Barry Hales loved a moan. Barry loved a little moan with our Barry.
What about, just in general?
No, just having a laugh.
Yeah, I can imagine. Who were the biggest characters in the dressing room?
Well, Cookie's a big character, even though unfortunately got that terrible injury early doors, but Cookie's a big character. He's a leader. Clarkie's a character. Chirpy, Geordie man. Rufus liked a moan as well. I forgot, Rufus could moan as well. He was a good boy. Finn was quiet. There was quiet boys, there was chirpy boys, but leaders, Cookie was a leader, Clarkie's a leader.
So who sort of took over when Cookie broke his leg at the car crash? Like, did anyone step up and say, right, I'm going to have to be the voice now?
I've got to be honest, on the pitch, it was a team of leaders. It wasn't just one or two. The whole team knew their role. We could dig in when we had to.
What was your favourite match?
Favourite match? Blackburn away was a special match that season. We got a player sent off and we won the game up there. They were our big rivals.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good players with Damien Duff.
That game has to come up if you talk to someone from your promotion. It has to. Just the whole build up. I mean, I was going to ask you actually. Obviously, you was very experienced at the time. Did that help you to remain calm in the build up with him? Talking his nonsense, Souness, saying they were the better team and all that rubbish. Or did it really roll you up and get you going?
I was going to be honest. I was at that stage where I was so confident in the team we had, the players I was playing with, that I was chilled going into every match, motivated but relaxed, knowing that we'll let our feet do the talking. And I think that's what we did from start of the season to the end of the season. We let our feet do the talking, and they certainly did. But they were a rival. They were a good team as well. They went up with us, didn't they? They went up the same year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the whole thing about it. It was, I think both teams ran away with it, to be fair. But it was just the arrogance of him to say they were better when they quite clearly weren't, and to go down to 10 men, be 1-0 down, and to come back and beat them. These iconic moments have to have an injury time winner, just for the drama. It just adds to it. It had everything. From your experience knowing Tigana, for him to show that emotion running down the touchline, did he do that often, or was that?
No. He was a man who didn't really show his emotions. He kept things inside. That's John. There's no John Starley to let it all out. But I think that told you how important and how much it meant to him to win that game, and that was us pushing on head towards the Premiership.
Well, I think that was it, because we got promoted the following game.
Yeah.
So I think we knew anyway, but I think we knew that we was going up as champions, beating them that day.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted from the start of the season. That was the target to win the league.
Well, nobody ever remembers who comes second. It's always the playoff winner and the title winner. It's never the second black team.
Yep, very true indeed.
What was your relationship like with Al Fayed?
Very good. The first time I met him in Harrods to the chat, it was very friendly. He told me his first house he bought was in Scotland, his castle. He was very proud. He showed me his pictures of his place in Scotland, a picture of him in his kilt.
In a kilt?
Well, I forget that in his office at Harrods.
If Fulham ever get a museum, they should bid and buy that picture.
That's true. very true. No, it was good to me, and it was very supportive of his managers. Got to be honest, and he took Fulham to where he said he would take them, up to the Premiership. So he'll be remembered in the history books. That's for sure.
He's such a legend.
No, it was always light-hearted, humour. He was always in the dressing room wishing us good luck before games. So there's not many chairmen do that.
No, I loved him.
And it meant a lot to him. People, sometimes these owners buy clubs and you think, do they really care? Have they just bought it as a business? You hardly ever see them. But one thing about Al Fayed, from the first minute I met him, he was passionate about Fulham. Every time he came out of the dressing room, he was always at the games on the pitch. I liked that. It was like a togetherness. And you were always aware he was there. He made it an exciting football club that people talked about, and he was there every week.
Yeah.
And he took it to the big time. So he was very good for the football club. There's no doubt about that.
And when we got to the big time, obviously I was there, Old Trafford. Very unlucky to lose.
We played very well.
Very well. I mean, probably played better that day than we did the day we beat them, which was a couple of years later. I'm not sure if you was still there.
Yeah, I think I might have just been leaving it in my last season, maybe.
Yeah, we beat them 3-1, and we probably played better the year we lost to them, and it just.
Yeah, we played very well. I mean, it was kind of the dream first opening fixture. Manchester United.
Oh, you just can't write it, can you?
Yeah, so that was when the fixtures came out, everybody was so excited. And we knew how we'd go there and play. We'd go there and play the Fulham way, which is let's go and try and put on a show and try and beat these boys. We're not going to sit back and just let them control and dominate the game. We're going to give as good as we got. And we surprised a lot of people. We gave them the fright. Early goal, Louis. Was it 3-2 it finished?
Yeah, 3-2. I think Louis put us 1-0 up straight away. Beckham scored a free kick.
Yeah.
And then second half, we took the lead again. And then they scored like 2 goals in 5 minutes. Van Nistelrooy sort of come out of nowhere. It was disappointing, but you know, I took great confidence away from that, knowing that if we could do that against them, then we're going to be fine. And it proved we was comfortable.
And that was a feeling about the club. I've got to be honest. It was like we're not going up to the Premiership to be petrified of losing every week and try to scrape away for the relegation. Let's go and enjoy it, embrace it. And we did. I think all the boys enjoyed it. It was an adventure, good fun. Yeah,
definitely. Talking about adventures, you played in both the first game against FC Hacker and then in the final game against Bologna in the Intertoto Cup. How does that tournament rank amongst your biggest achievements?
Well, I'm going to be honest, Intertoto was not a tournament I played in much at all, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. You played in the first game. I think you played in the 2 home games at Craven Cottage.
Right.
And then I think you played in 2 more. You definitely played in the last game, in the final.
I can't remember, I've got to be honest, I can't remember.
It's the only time we've ever won something. You got to remember that.
Intertoto, we won it. We won the Intertoto.
You're joking, aren't you?
Against Bologna.
Yeah.
Was I not on the bench? I don't think I got. Did I get on?
Yeah, you got on. You got on according to Wikipedia.
Did I get on? I can't remember if I got on. I honestly thought I was on the bench.
Yeah, Inamoto scored a hat-trick.
Inamoto.
There's a name, eh?
There's another name I forgot. Oh wow.
Well, I'm glad it was memorable for you.
Sorry, I don't think I got on.
Honestly. Should I tell you why you don't remember the Intertoto Cup? Because we won it at Loftus Road, and it doesn't compare to playing at Craven Cottage.
I never played that.
You didn't play at Loftus Road?
I never played it at Loftus Road. I didn't play in that Intertoto.
100%. You did. Someone called Collins played, and it wasn't Wayne Collins, so it must have been you.
I started the game. Alright, okay.
Well, you might have been on the bench and come on, but you definitely got an appearance out of it.
T-Guys, black and white army. T-Guys, black and white army.
Where was we? Oh, we was at the Intertoto Cup, weren't we?
Intertoto, right? We've just picked up the trophy and moved it. It's in the cabinet. Bang, another one in the trophy cabinet.
Yeah, they're running out of room. So that's coming to the end of your career.
Yeah.
You wasn't playing much at that point. You started doing your badges. Was there ever an opportunity or talk of staying at Fulham, Tigana taking you under his wing as a coach or anything like that?
Yeah, well, Tigana mentioned it to me, would it be something that would interest me? And I said at the end of my career I was going to retire and spend time with the family rather than go straight into coaching. So my plan was always to go back to the south of France to do my full badges up to my pro license. And that's what I did. So the offer was there from John, but I'd been a pro for a long time, and I felt it was time to have a break from the game, spend time with the family, do my badges, and then see what happens after that. That's what I did.
And then the next time you returned to Fulham, I think Tigana might have gone by then. Don't know if Chris Coleman was in charge, but anyway. I know for certain someone was walking through the door, and that was Collins John. That has got to be the weirdest coincidence ever.
You're not going to believe this. I knew nothing about Collins John. I'd never heard of Collins John. I was coming to the game just to attend it, and somebody says to me, "Would you mind doing us a favour? We've signed Collins John. Would you like to go on the pitch with him?" And I'm like, "What? Collins John?" And sure enough, out I went on the pitch. And some people actually thought I was his agency, and some people actually thought, "Oh, that was John Collins brought him to the club."
I remember. That's why I've asked you. I remember you being on the pitch, introducing him. Like you come on to say hello together, and it was so weird. Only at Fulham.
What a coincidence! Beggars belief.
Yeah. What a weird story. I had to mention it.
You've got to mention it because that was freaky.
Just to confirm for people listening, you aren't related to Collins John.
I'm definitely not related at all. Tried to nick my name. He just tried to nick my name. He was Dutch, wasn't he? Dutchman.
Yeah. They love the Scottish, the Dutch.
No, the Dutch. No, the Dutch. They know their football. Good footballing nation.
All right, so you had a couple of spells in management. It must have been a dream to go back to Hibs as your first role as a manager. Yeah,
it was fun. I had a few offers before that, but to go back into the game in my hometown, my home club, where it all started as a player, it was a nice offer. So I came back to Scotland. It was a busy 14 months, special 14 months I spent there. Unfortunately, the president, the chairman, didn't have the same ambition as I had, didn't have the same love of football that I had. So we won the League Cup, first trophy in 16 years in total football.
You remember that one?
I remember that one. 5-5-1 Hampton. Got to the semi-final in the Scottish Cup, finished in the top half of the league. I sold half the team at the end of the season, about $9.5 million worth of players. So from $9.5 million to Hibs, with the budget they had, that was equivalent to probably about $150 million for a team like Fulham. So it was massive business, selling all the players because we were playing good football, and obviously some of them were good, very good players. So never mind, we still beat Celtic even though we sold them to Scott Brown.
As well as managing Hibs, you was director of football at Livingston.
Yep.
How did that go?
Very well. No, really good. It was just a fun job for me, just to see how I would enjoy the director of football role. It was just a learning process and running the whole football, hiring managers, coaches and scouts, developing the youth coaches. So it was a real hands-on role. Really enjoyed it. Took the club forward. Developed a good attacking football team. Got a lot of admirers in the country. Manager ended up moving on. Did a good job, so he got a better offer elsewhere. Brought in another manager. He did well, so I took the club up to fourth, just off the promotions. I only took the director of football role because the deal would be I would decide who the head coach would be. But unfortunately, they changed their mind after 14 months. They wanted to decide who the head coach was going to be. So I said, it's fine, it's your football club. I'm off. Thank you very much for the year, but it was enjoyable. I really enjoyed the role.
And then you become an assistant manager at Celtic?
Well, I wouldn't normally go on as assistant manager. It's not the role I wanted, but difficult for me to turn down my club, Celtic. 2 years, massive club. It was exciting. Won the league, obviously, a couple of years.
Who was you working under?
It was a Norwegian called Ronny Delia came in, and I was working with Scotland under 19s, the national youth team at the time. The chief exec phoned me, Ronnie, and wanted to meet me, and they offered me the role of assistant manager. So I thought, yeah, go on, why not? I enjoyed it, but it's not my preferred role.
No, I can hear it when you're talking. You're your own man, so I can see that you want to do it your way. Well,
100%. I'm in a fortunate position, I can say that, but director of football is a role that interests me, running the football club, and developing a philosophy, or a head coach. So.
Well, you put in your CV to Fulham.
Well, they know I'm available. If they want some quality, they can give me a call.
Well, because I mean, going through your CV, you know, you went back to Hibs, you went back to Celtic. You know, I just wondered if you fancied making it a hat trick.
Yep, why not? I've went back and had success as a manager in both. One thing at Celtic, one thing at Hibs. So who knows what the future holds? Well,
there's only one more question. Pie or pasty?
Pie, steak pie.
Steak pie?
Steak pie, but it's going to be a lot of gravy in it. I don't like the dry one. I like one gravy dripping all over the place.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah. You can have loads of them now you're retired.
Yeah, still, I'll eat them now and again. Hey, still trying to keep the old fitness regime up. But as you get older, it gets harder. But still trying.
Well, that's the end of it. I mean,
right, absolute pleasure.
Yeah, well, I can't thank you enough. I mean, it's been an honour to speak to you. It really has.
Well, many happy memories. You've got them the same as my ones. Sounds like you remember them just as much as me. Intertoto even more than me, so I apologise on that one. But lots of great performances and lots of great goals and players. So those memories, I'll be there forever. Take them to the grave. They never go away, those special memories.
No, and you'll never be forgotten by the fans. Just want to finish by thank you for everything you did for us, because it was for me the best season ever. Well,
thank you. It was a special season for me as well. Trust me, winning that championship, the way we played, it'll always be a great memory for me, a great achievement. So hopefully the next generation is Fulham supporters, the little ones that are coming to the games, get to see similar scenario in the years to come. Fingers crossed, that's what we're all after. Total football, we did young players, a few experienced in there, playing entertaining football, attacking football on the front foot.
The Fulham way.
The Fulham way, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, been a pleasure, mate, it really has.
Daniel, take care, I might see you down again pretty soon, okay?
I hope so, yeah. Alright, speak to you soon. Thank you.
Good luck. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. John Collins there talking about his time at Fulham. I'd like to thank John for taking the time to speak to me, and I wish him all the best with the rest of his career. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for updates when the latest Q&As will be released. There's plenty more to come, and you can also subscribe via iTunes or any other podcast app. Until then, my name's Dannyboi. Really hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you as always